You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's The Game After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's The Game After Show.
Welcome to the recap of Season 7, Episode 6 of The Game. He's a no-good, lying, cheating, honky-tonk man. And guess what? My name is Megan Thomas, and we have a special guest today.
I'm Kenny Smith, executive producer of The Game.
I know, he said it so smoothly, like,
you see
Kenny
that?
Smith, executive producer of The Game.
This James Earl Jones voice right there. I like that.
Golden voice.
Yeah.
Who are you guys?
Hello, everyone. I am Ashley Gray. Be sure to tweet me during the show if you have any questions at Hey Ashley Gray. You can always find me on Instagram at Nina Marie Gray.
I'm Brendan London, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at The Cultured Athlete, or you can find me on, she loves the way I say The Cultured Athlete. She always making fun of me, but you can find the website, BrendanLondonTV.com. Make sure you tweet us during the show. Meg Scoop, we ready?
Yes, and so you guys love our recap show, and we love The Game, and so we had to have Kenny Smith on to talk to us about the show because Kenny has been the executive producer, the writer, director, showrunner, the man for the show. If it wasn't for this dude, you wouldn't see half the stuff you see, and you wouldn't be able to watch this wonderful show. So we have some questions for you, Kenny. Yeah. Are you ready?
Yes. Where's Melanie Derwin?
Yes. Where is, yes. Where is Melanie and Derwin? Are they coming back?
Melanie and Derwin, they're not coming back this season.
Okay.
But they have an open door. All the characters on our show have an open door.
Yeah.
People thought Kelly was gone for good. She came back. At any point, we could bring Melanie and Derwin back. Pooch and Tia, we still have a great relationship with them, and they love the show, and they're part of the family. Okay. And so never know when they're going to come back.
Okay. What about Robin Givens? She get to come back? Because I loved her.
Everybody gets to come back.
Okay.
I mean, that's the kind of show that we've had from the beginning. We didn't have a lot of money to lock up actors like Lost for 2 or 3 seasons. So we were able to call out to people, ask them to come back, and people love their experience on the show. They love the popularity that they get from being on the show. And so they would come back, and it made our world feel big. I mean, even if season 1, season 2, Irv, all the people that we were able to come back week after week, you know, they all still want to come back and be a part of the show.
So I want to talk to you about money because I know you did mention that you guys don't have a lot of money. It was rumored that Melanie and Derwin actually didn't want to be a part of the game anymore because they were not getting enough money. Is that true?
That is not true.
That is not true, ladies and gentlemen.
Are you allowed to say why?
So why exactly did Melanie and Derwin decide to leave the game, or were they fired?
No, they were not fired. Pooch ended up getting on a show, Ray Donovan, which is a great show on Showtime. And Tia had a lot of other things. I mean, right now she has Instant Mom.
Yeah.
She's developing other shows. She has a reality show. But, you know, I've talked to Tia and I talk to Pooch every other month.
Yeah.
They are still friends of the show. They're part of the family. And so no one was fired.
Do you feel pressure to bring them back?
No, we'll bring them back when we have a great story for them, when their time permits, those kind of things. But I know a lot of people feel like we should have them back because everybody wants them back.
right.
They're actors, and they're also people who want other things in their career as well.
That's true.
And we can't write the show 100% for the fans. And I say, and I always have this conversation with people, that if we let the fans run the show, Derwin would never have cheated on Melanie in season 1.
Right.
There's a lot of hard decisions that we have to make to keep the show interesting, to keep where the character's going special. And so we have to make those decisions. And I think the fans would never have said, let's do that. So we can't people hated Kelly in the beginning. That's
Yeah.
one thing we laugh about all the time. It was, why is this a white woman with this black man? And then when they broke up and Jason was trying to win her back and she said, no, I'm not going to do this anymore, they were like, girl, take him back. Kelly. And then when she left the show, it was, bring Kelly back, bring Kelly back. And then, oh, Chardonnay, who is she? How, Brandy's coming on the show. And then it became, we love Brandy on the show.
Yeah.
And now Kelly's back. Now it's, wait a minute, don't break up their marriage, Kelly.
Yeah.
So it's always a push and pull on different things. So we love the fans and we try to give them the best show, but we can't just say, okay, the fans want Melanie Dora, we have to bring them back.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll find a time when everything works out on both sides.
So when Kelly left, did you guys, how much pressure did you guys feel from the fans to bring in a black woman to be Jason's partner?
No, that came from the idea that initially it started, what can we do with Jason's character now? Let's put him with Tasha. Because of his character, to see him with that kind of woman. But then it was like, oh, that's so incestuous.
Yeah.
So then we said, well, let's find someone who's kind of like Tasha. And so we found this character, Chardonnay, and it was supposed to be, recurring for a while, just to give Jason a different attitude, to let his character be with someone that people assume he would never be with.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And see how that changes him. And then we just loved Brandy. We loved what she was doing with the character. We were able to get her for another season, and we made her a series regular. So then it became, we have to make sure that there's a difference between Tasha and Chardonnay. And we, it was a little hard. 5th season and 6th season, we started finding more and more things to make her special.
Yeah.
And then 7th season, I think, as you guys are seeing, they're very different.
Yeah.
Right. I know our guys don't seem to think
Yeah,
so.
the
No,
guys
they're
do
the
not.
same. I think they're the same.
I think Tasha, Chardonnay went to college, Tasha didn't.
Right.
Chardonnay grew up with both her mother and father, so she doesn't have the same daddy issues. Chardonnay is a good person.
She doesn't have any
Right.
kids.
We've started digging more and more into that her outlook on things are very different from Tasha's.
Right.
And we also, when we talked about the Chardonnay character, it was about finding, I think it's a little bit kind of hip-hop-ish. The way, if you went to college campuses now and you saw people, because of hip-hop, there's a swagger and a coolness to kids in college now. The same
Right.
swagger and coolness you find with people who grow up in the ghetto.
Yeah.
And so it was, let's show that character, the person that you wouldn't assume went to college, that you can go to any college and see and be like, oh, they're into hip hop, they're fun. It's not nerds walking across campus anymore. So that's where Chardonnay is different from Tasha. She is another type of woman that is current. And that was the same thing with Blue. We were looking for that new guy, the guy who goes to college, who reads, but is still cool. He's still a cool guy.
But and I'm glad you said something about Blue going to college, because the guy went to Stanford.
Yes.
But you guys have him out there fighting a police officer.
Yes, I remember that comment that you made the other day.
I felt, because I felt that you guys were trying to do what America was trying to do to Richard Sherman after he made that rant after making that big play in the game, and everybody saying, oh, this thug. That thug went to Stanford, No. So I'm thinking, like, how does Blue go from Stanford with having his dad present in his life, his entire life, to fighting a cop, first round pick fighting a cop?
Well, that goes for who his character is. And Blue, and we addressed it in the premiere season 6 as well. He has a chip on his shoulder. He's the guy who, because he went to Stanford, because he had his dad, people always want to test him. And Blue has a short temper. He will let his ego always jump out, and knee-jerk reaction is to fight somebody.
Yeah.
Let me show you how tough I am.
Okay.
And so he did the same thing with Derwin. He did the same thing with the officer. And I know, once you said that, I thought about it a little, and I was like, well, are we sending him down that path? But I think he's true to himself. With all those things, he can lose it at any second because he has a chip on his shoulder. Maybe we'll deal with the chip a little bit later.
Yeah.
And we're seeing some of the side effects, the fact that he had to now apologize and be that guy that he said he never wanted to be, and do community service. And so we'll see in season 8 where that goes.
I have a question too about Tasha. Last
Yes.
episode, we were wondering how her stomach went from flat to this bump in a month's time. What happened with that?
Okay. We started the season. She was 3 months pregnant.
Okay.
And then we took a time jump after Jason crashed his car. And part of that is, I know I've read the tweets. A lot of people jumped on us about that. But a lot of it comes from the fact that we only have 10 episodes this season.
Right.
And so we needed to accelerate.
Okay.
And we based the season around her pregnancy. And so there was going to be a leap. And yes, the baby bump was still a little big for 5 months.
Yeah.
For 5 months.
Yeah.
But hey, that's when we got to eat.
Happens sometimes. That's Hollywood or Atlanta.
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 No. Or San Diego.
We write in LA and we shoot in Atlanta.
Okay, so I have a question about the process. So when you guys are coming up with ideas, what is it like? Are you sitting there like, okay, we're going to write on a board. Who has ideas for how this show should go?
Yeah, when we come in for the start of the season, we talk about the arcs. We go through each character, what's going to happen this season with them, and also how many episodes we have.
Okay.
Because our cast is bigger and bigger. Right now we have 8 characters when we include Kelly and TT. So, and we only have 10 episodes, and we have 20 minutes. I know people complain about the commercials. We have 20 minutes and 30 seconds to tell the stories.
Right.
So we discuss which stories we can actually pull off in that time.
Okay.
And then we just go down the list and we say, where did we leave last year? What do we want to see with the characters this year? See their growth, see their journey. Where do we want to land with them? And then we just start going through and getting more details and arguing and discussing and debating. And
I noticed I was out there talking to you earlier, and I was asking, did you guys have someone like a pro athlete or a former pro athlete to authenticate some of these stories? And you were saying how you don't know much about football. So
yeah, I'm not a football guy.
Are there other writers who know the game and know the life?
We have a couple guys who know football, and they're able to pepper in some stuff. But whenever we go too deep into football, we always have people pull us back and say, whoa, because that's not going to be interesting to the people who don't know football. What's interesting to people is the relationships and how these people deal with things. So we try to pepper some things in just to make it feel real. When we came to Atlanta to shoot, we were able to, get the Georgia Dome to shoot some of these things, and actually for the first time really show football.
Yeah.
Like we had some early practice field stuff because that's all we could get here in LA. But we try to make it as much football as we can. This season is the off season for the guys, so you won't see any football this season.
Yeah. So speaking of the writers, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Speaking of the writers, how many female perspectives do you have on the team?
On the writing team?
Yeah.
We have 3 women on the team.
Okay. And how many men?
I know, look at it.
I'm like, huh?
We have 4 men.
Oh, okay.
Out of the women, are any white women? Because Kelly Pitts is a white girl character.
Here we go.
I was just wanting to know because okay, so you can't write. If you were one of the writers for the team, you wouldn't be able to write for Kelly Pitts. You wouldn't,
No, yeah, you
No,
can.
no.
Yeah, I think you can.
Yes,
hold on.
good writer can write for anybody.
I write for Kelly Pitts.
Look,
We write for all the characters. We don't have a white woman on staff this year. We've had white women on staff previous seasons. It's not. We usually have a pretty diverse staff. We have a Latino guy on our staff this season for the last 3 seasons, and we mix it up. I mean, we've had gay men on the show. It's never been about, and that's from my career in Hollywood, that most of the black shows have more diversity than you would think.
Yeah.
And but I write for all the characters. I give Kelly jokes and lines.
Okay.
And they're people.
Right.
They're people.
Right, they're people. Where do you get your ideas from? Do you just sit around in a park and go, let me write about this today in this episode?
Ideas. Some of the ideas come from our real lives. Just things that happen that we work into the show. Sometimes it's a little nugget. Oh, we should put that somewhere in a scene or say this comment in a scene. Sometimes it's moments that we're like, oh, we're going to make this whole scene about this. Tasha having to call last season, when Pookie caught her and was like, call him right now on speakerphone. That happened to someone. And so we were like, we got to put that into an episode. That's funny. And so ideas will pop up from anywhere. Just, conversations I have with people, things I see on other shows, like, oh, that's interesting. What would our take be on that be? But most of it is real life arguments and fights and past.
Well, if you ever need a couple more stories, my heyday back when I was a football player, I went through a couple things.
Now, if you didn't know, this is the cultured athlete. The cultured athlete.
See the smile?
I really find you extremely inspiring. What started this writing career?
You know what? I was always a fan. Well, I grew up watching a lot of TV.
Okay.
Like everything, even things that were inappropriate for a young child to watch. I would watch soap operas, you know, Knots Landing, those things like that.
Yeah.
I'm a little older than you guys. So a lot of shows and huge fan. And then when I went to college, I went to Hampton University as a computer science major first year. But in the back of my mind, I always wanted to do something in TV.
So you followed your passion.
I ended up switching first year in college, my freshman, and said, why am I doing computer science? I love computers, but I don't want to do that for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I love TV. Being from DC, there wasn't a lot of people that you say, oh, that, you know, they're in Hollywood. They went to Hollywood and did it. So I just, last minute, I just said, let me just change. And so I changed, and my parents were like, cool.
Oh, awesome.
Wow.
Spent 3 years at Hampton, and after I graduated, I started writing a couple scripts while I was in school, and I had one teacher, Professor Beam, who she really read my stuff and was like, yo, you are good. But, you know, I was 19, 20. I was like, yeah. But after graduation, I said, well, let me go out to LA and see what happens. So I took my graduation money and I flew out and spent a week actually hanging out on Seinfeld set.
See,
Wow.
dreams do come true, boys
do
and
come
girls.
true.
Yeah, and I ended up talking to someone over there, and they said I can come out and spend a week on the show and kind of watch and see what they do. And then I went back home, grabbed my stuff, and moved out. And then started working. Actually, a Seinfeld producer sent me to my first job, which was at Martin as a PA.
What?
That
is amazing.
I'm sorry, that's just
my
I let it out.
I don't want to get hung up on that, but Martin's family and his brother Rob, because they're from DC, they hired me off of that. I'd been in LA maybe 6 weeks, and they hired me.
Wow.
So you worked on Martin. What did you do after Martin?
After Martin, the showrunner for Martin, about 4 months later, created Jamie Foxx show, and he knew I wanted to write.
That was a
With
blessing.
all of the good shows.
That was the Lord blessing him.
Gently Kyle Evans, he created the Jamie Foxx show. He
Yeah.
was like, if you want to write, come with me. And so I went over with him. First season, I was a PA, and then second, he made me a writer. Second
That's
season.
awesome.
Wow.
So I started writing from then. I've worked every year since.
And how did you get to be a part of the game?
The game. That was an interesting time. Let's see. That's when the CW started. UPN and WB had went away.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of the black shows were on those networks, and they disappeared.
Yeah.
And it was hard. It was hard there for black people working behind the scenes, you know, and I'm sure in front of the cameras, there weren't as many opportunities. And the game was the one show that was hiring that season. It was a new show for CW. And I had worked with Mowry-Hardrict, who created the game, back on Jamie Foxx. We worked together for a season. And I met with her, and she was like, you know, we had a lot of conversation because Amara, when I worked at Jamie Foxx, I moved out from DC with my girlfriend that we went to college together. And she was a nursing major. She came out here, she was working as a nurse, and I was working, trying to get my writing career off. And Mara saw a lot of Derwin in me.
I was gonna say that sounds like Melanie and Derwin.
Right.
Yeah, Mara was very good about hiring writers initially. That first round, she wanted to make sure that the characters had somebody with a little bit of the same background, so it's easier to write for them.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that initial staff, she was very diligent about finding people. Oh, this is a good fit for this person. This is a good fit for Malik. This is a good fit for Tasha. And you know, that's where it is.
And now, 7 seasons later.
7 seasons later.
Still in it. All right, well, let's talk about this episode 6. And we'll start talking about Jason getting kicked out of the house. Do you guys think it was correct for Chardonnay to keep that man out of his house?
Yes. Oh.
No, of course.
Okay, yes.
Yes. It's his house. That's the house that Jason Pitts. That's the house that he built. How do you get kicked out of your own home?
Because you're a cheater. That's how you get kicked out.
Not a
Well,
cheater.
it's not necessarily his home anymore because they're married now, so it's their home.
So do you? Oh, that's what I'm saying. So is it okay to kick someone out of their own home because that is his home
Well,
too?
initially, I will say that in a marriage, you shouldn't just kick your husband out. You should talk and be an adults about the situation. But to keep it real, in my life, if I was Chardonnay, I probably would have kicked Jason out. So yes, I'm a bit immature at times. So I would have kicked him out. Yes, I feel she should have done that.
She overreacted. That's
I don't
what
think
you're
she
saying.
overreacted. No, because Kelly was already doing the most initially. And then you find out that, you know, my insecurities were right. You did go and hang out with Kelly and you went to her hotel room. And so all of these things are flying in my head and I don't know what happened. And then she finds out, like, yeah, you did kiss her.
I agree with Ashley.
Yeah, see?
But no, all those things are flying through her head, which is what's making her even more crazier than what she should have been.
But those things would never have even nested if Jason would have never lied and went over there, and if Kelly would not have been acting out of the pocket.
First of all, he didn't lie. He adjusted and omitted. I made sure I wrote that down in big letters. He adjusted and omitted.
Okay, well, that's another important point. Is adjusting and omitting the same thing as lying?
It's lying. If you are making your spouse or anyone that you're lying to feel any kind of way, whether it's indirectly or directly, you're lying.
Right.
You're omitting the truth is the same thing. It's the same emotional connection. So if I'm omitting the truth to you, I'm still hurting your feelings, whether I'm telling you a lie or not. The feelings are still the same at the end of the day.
Okay,
Actually,
Kenny? Is adjusting and omitting the same as lying?
You got a wedding ring on, player. Watch your answer. Watch your answer.
Watch what you say.
You know what? It is, but there are certain times when you need to adjust and omit.
Right, like what?
Thank you.
To protect someone's feelings.
Okay.
You know, it wasn't.
Like,
Look,
baby,
he caught himself. It wasn't that serious.
Nah, it's
and he
always that
moved on.
serious. It's always that serious.
And he came at the end, and he did say.
Well, yeah, he did tell the truth at the end.
But the thing is if you're going to tell the truth at the end, why not tell the truth at the beginning? So
Yeah,
we
he
can
probably
already
should have just held it to himself. He probably should have told the truth.
He was doing what Tasha said. Tasha said, that, you know, Tasha confirmed it, that nothing happened. And even it came out of Tasha's mouth that he so-called was over there with Kelly Pitts. But now it comes out of her mouth that he did it to protect Chardonnay because he loved her, because he didn't want her worrying too much. Yes, he kissed her, but it wasn't an I want to be with you again kiss.
Okay, no, that's not okay.
A kiss is a kiss, and I don't want to be protected if you're going to lie to me. If protection means lying to me, then just dismiss yourself from my life because that's not appropriate
There
behavior.
goes that word. He adjusted and omitted. We're not saying lying.
Brandon.
We're not saying lying. We're not saying lying.
But that's the same
He wrote
thing.
it. I'm going off of his script.
I'm sorry, Jenny Rice Gibbs
Okay,
Henry
Jenny.
wrote that.
Okay, Jenny wrote that. Okay. All right. Which, by the way, I have to a shout out to the Herman Cain shirt that he had. It is so fitting that Jason Pitts would have a Herman Cain shirt.
Yeah, Jason. That's Jason. Very Jason.
Very Jason.
Kobe loved that bit.
Right.
Ashley,
Yes.
so you kicked your man out the house. He's out there and he's
It's not my man, it's my husband.
It's a
okay.
difference.
Your
It's a
husband,
difference.
and he's out there playing the acoustic guitar for you.
Okay.
He's trying to get back in the house.
Okay.
Why keep him out there to sleep outside like a homeless man?
Because I'm adjusting.
Oh,
It's omitting and adjusting.
Yeah.
Jennifer didn't write that part.
I'm
Nah.
adjusting. Like, you want to do this and you want to do that, then let me adjust my life and remove you from my house. Bye.
Right, and he knew he was wrong because I feel like if he really didn't think that he was wrong, he would have called the police and had them come over and allow him to get back in his home.
Or he
So
just
knew
would have
Drama.
been,
That's
he
too
just
much.
would have been typical Jason. Like, no, get me. I'm gonna go in my house because this is my house, and I don't care what you say. So he knew that he was wrong. That's why he allowed Chardonnay to act as she was.
He did that so she could feel like she was in control of the situation. He was gonna butter her up to get back to her, you know, to get back in there. Eventually,
Because he was wrong.
he all right.
He knew he was wrong. That's why he's over there sitting, playing on the guitar. By the way, he can really sing. That was him,
can.
right?
That was Jason.
That's crazy.
Kobe Bell.
Kobe Bell can sing amazingly.
That boy good.
Who picked that song?
I did.
Really?
Yeah, it came from something we asked where I get my ideas from. Something I saw on the news. There was a flash mob in L.A. on the subway, and there was a white guy who played acoustic guitar, How to Love. You can catch it on YouTube.
Right.
And I saw that bit maybe like 2 years ago, and I was like, oh. And then when we were talking about songs he could sing, I was like, that's the
Damn.
song.
That's a good one. It was a good one.
Right. It
I'm
was.
glad people liked it. Kobe was a little apprehensive about singing.
Really?
He doesn't consider himself a singer, but
Really?
Wow.
I've seen him sing before. He's really talented.
Right.
Did a
He's
good
really
job.
good.
Did a good job.
Yes, shout out to Kobe Bell for that. Okay, so do you guys think that Jason should have told Chardonnay about his kissing Kelly?
Of course. You are married. Even if it was a relationship between a boyfriend and a girlfriend, if you are committed to that person, you are responsible for telling them the truth.
Man.
Here we go. I can't.
No.
Whoever is in a
with you.
relationship with Brandon, I can't.
I'm gonna treat you like a queen, girl, and I'm agreeing with you.
Okay.
But there's a but in there. Okay, here's what he should have done.
Okay.
He should have went. He should have told her, but he really had to be adamant about telling her that it wasn't a kiss of passion. It wasn't a kiss that I want to be with her. It was a kiss that I'm closing this door. This is the final chapter of me and you.
I think that might be a lie. We saw the kiss.
Right.
Well, but he loves Chardonnay. That was just you see all the things that was going on at the time. You see how Kelly stepped up, said she paid the guy off. She kept his legacy intact. That 20 years that they had together, it was a bunch of emotions come rushing in at one time. You just found out that you're not going to get in trouble by steroids anymore because your ex-wife, who was with you shooting in the gym like that Drake song, came and paid somebody off to keep that under wraps. You're in a hotel room. You guys are drunk from the mini bar, which he put back. I love that. They put the stuff back, but it wasn't a kiss out of I love you. He loves Chardonnay. He loves Chardonnay. So he should have went and told her that happened, but made sure he said that, why he kissed her. Come on, Ashley. You got to give me that.
No, we're not going to give you none of that. Let us know what you think. Make sure you go subscribe on our iTunes podcast. It's easy. Just search for us. Search for AfterBuzz TV, The Game, and click subscribe. It's free. Tell your friends. Give us 5 stars. Rate and comment.
You looking at me, girl. That's what I was supposed to do.
Oh, sorry.
You're looking at me like, what?
But they can watch Chase and Maria Menounos on Oxygen, can't they?
Yes, they can. Every single week on Tuesdays. Make sure that you support Maria if you love AfterBuzz TV. That is your way of giving back. And it is such a good show.
It is a good show.
It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Had me laughing about it. And for those who watch this on YouTube and comment on us about YouTube, what we're doing on here, I actually have one that I have to read out. Sabrina Elizondo. I don't know, that's some different type of Spanish I'm not used to.
Oh my
but
gosh.
I'm gonna do it in her voice too, because she was like, oh my gosh, please bring back Mel and Darwin. I don't think the game ratings are gonna boom like that, like they did before if they don't bring them back. Well, you just heard it from the man himself.
Oh, yeah. Tell us about that, Kenny. How are the ratings since people think that the show's not going to do good with
The ratings have been really well.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're number 1 for cable on Tuesday nights.
What?
And we're in the top 10 of Tuesday night shows overall.
Really?
Broadcast.
So do you think that people are tuning in just to see where their storyline is going, to see if Melanie and Derwin are going to come back? Or do you think it's just a love-hate relationship? Like, you know what?
I think a lot of people love the show. I think there are some people who have a love-hate, but we find like a lot of people do actually love the show, enjoy the show, and they always say, hey, don't listen to those people. We're enjoying this. It's different, and there's nothing else like it. So, hey.
Yeah.
We're proud of our show.
Yeah.
We are too.
Should
We
be.
love it. Even though we talk about it sometimes. Sorry. But we love it. Look at Kenny.
Until they have Blue looking like the ratchet athlete.
Well, yeah. So let's
Not
talk
the
about
cultured
his
athlete.
ratchetness or ratchetry or lack thereof. This episode, Keira and Blue play house.
So I see they're trying to spice things up with, trying to bring some interest to Blue and Keira, but it still didn't get it for me this week. I'm just like, what?
I can see that this is going to be a big issue between them two because everybody knows when you live with somebody, you really get to see them. Like right now, they're having fun. They're throwing marshmallows.
Yeah, but the
and
thing
playing.
is, speaking of having fun, I wish that what we would have seen was them having fun over like a 2 weeks time, or maybe like even a week, because that was just like a day in the life of Blue and Keira. And it's like, okay, you
No,
guys
it
did.
could have been a couple of days.
They had on the same outfits.
They did
Really,
have on the
didn't
same.
she?
No, it was the same outfit. It was a day.
She is right. It was one day.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, you guys are doing all of this stuff in one day. That's fun, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, okay, I want to see the chemistry. I want to see you guys doing stuff outside of the apartment. I want to see you guys actually together, holding hands in public, kissing in public, spending time with each other's friends. Like, that would have been like, oh, they are a relatable couple. But right now, it's just like they were just in the house.
We don't have that kind of time.
Actually, they've known each other for quite some time now. She sent care packages
No,
to
I'm
him
not
during
saying.
training
What I'm
camp.
saying is for the
know what you're
viewers. Like for me, like I wanted to see more of the chemistry. I wanted to be able to relate to them. Like, oh, I see myself in her, or I see. You
don't do dance revolution with your man.
I mean, if I had a man, maybe I would. But I just wanted to see a little bit more.
That's exactly what. Last year, they're young. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of people forget they're supposed to be 22 and
Right.
25, so
Yeah.
they're really young. So they had a lot of back and forth breaking up. So this season we didn't want to do that. We wanted to let them get back together and let them experience what a relationship is. And this was just the one after they got back together of what's it like to be in each other's space all day. And we just wanted to show that, you know, that all day when no kids and no marriage and just having fun.
And that's it's great that they showed that because it's him in his natural environment. You see what he was watching on Netflix or whatever. You were watching war documentaries. That lets you know that he's comfortable.
Exactly. That's what that scene was. And it's a shame that we couldn't see what Keira was doing. She was reading a script and he was doing his documentary. They were so comfortable in each other's space, and that's what we were trying to show.
But I feel like if they're friends, they're going to be comfortable like that. I wanted to see the relationship, Blue and Keira, not the friendship, Blue and Keira. Like, if this was my first time watching the episode, like the season, I would be like, oh, they're good friends. Not necessarily boyfriend and girlfriend. I didn't see any.
Strip poker with your friends?
Hey, sometimes. That's fine, right? Okay, nobody plays strip poker with their friends.
Oh, that's
No
cool.
judgment.
That's cool.
No judgment. No
what they were
judgment.
doing, that wasn't friendship. That's wifey type right there.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's good because I think in relationships you should be with your best friend. You should have fun with them. You should throw marshmallows in the mouth. You should be able to go to sleep without your hair wrapped. You know?
No, you should be able to go to sleep with your hair wrapped.
No, both of them. Because guess what she's going to look like when she wakes up?
Oh.
Horrific. Horrific. Not
Yeah.
horrific. Horrific.
I can't.
So, I mean, so that's okay. If she's okay with waking up with her hair matted and, you know, half
Yeah,
curly,
yeah.
then that means you really like somebody.
Yeah, yeah.
But and that means that he really likes her because who wants to wake up in the next day, the following morning, and see, wow, this is what you this is what you really look like this entire time. I think the makeup lady needs to come in to set up a little bit.
And,
Right.
and on the technical side, we had 3 other stories that we have to weave in, and the timeline could only be one day.
No, of
You know,
course.
so it's always those things that I know people are like, why is that so fast?
Yeah.
But sometimes we're tied to other things.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And wait. For all you ladies out there who say that's a little bit too fast, I know a lot of you guys or a lot of you ladies who jump into relationships a lot faster than a 20-minute
Right.
episode. So fall back.
Fall back.
Man, I
so
got
do
a
you
lot of-
guys think that it was too hasty
Yes.
for Keira and Blue first of all, for Blue to ask Keira to move in and for her to accept, even though you can see she wanted a wedding, she wanted to be married first before this happened, but she went ahead and said yes. Do you think this was too hasty?
No. My bone to pick was that why she automatically thought that he was trying to marry her. Like, why you girls do that?
What
I
you
don't
mean,
understand
why
that.
we do that?
He was trying to ease it in, to, slowly ease it, make her comfortable to wanting to come up and move in with him. But
No,
Okay, but
he
no,
wasn't trying
I
to
feel
get
no,
married.
Sure.
I feel that Keira is a traditional girl. Like I do. She was a virgin for how long?
Right.
So I feel like she wanted to get married. And she wanted all of that before she gave it up. And her hastiness, I feel like, okay, this is the dude that I gave it up to. I'm so in love with him. Of course I'll move in with you. And then I think that she really wants to be with Blue on a level of like marriage, with the whole 9, marriage, kids, everything. So, I think it was a little bit premature for her to agree to do that, but given the situation, she's just head over heels in love. Like he smashed, so
He what?
Smashed.
So what does that mean?
I mean, the girl's in love. This is her the first guy she's ever been with. Like, do you know what kind of effect that has on a woman?
She's talking like me now,
Look at
talking about
Kenny.
he smashed.
I like Ashley. She gets us.
Right. She does.
Yeah,
She
I tried.
This is what we were going for, yes. She's young and she lost her virginity to this dude.
Yeah.
She said in the other one, you weren't my first, you're my first love. And
Yeah.
they're young. Young people will jump into things without
Right,
looking.
right.
Yes.
I think it's a little hasty. I think we're going to see that in the upcoming episodes because clearly, first of all, their visions are totally different. You see him, he's like, I want you to live with me. She's like, oh, we're getting married. So when
Yeah.
a woman feels like that and a man feels like that, there's definitely going to be some conflict.
He feels like that though.
What?
He really likes her. You can
wanna
see
marry
he
her?
really likes her. The only bone I have to pick with that is that when he was throwing her the marshmallow, she went like 1 for 10.
Okay,
See,
that's hard.
Athleticism.
Next
How we
week,
gonna raise this
next
baby?
week
How
we're
we
gonna
gonna
bring
raise this
some
baby?
marshmallows and see how he
Right.
does.
No, throw it to the girl who I want to marry one day. We're gonna throw it to her, and when she catches, let's say 4 out of 10, yeah, we can marry her
Okay,
because
you
of
know what?
athleticism. My kid's gonna go first round. That's what I was
For
saying.
catching marshmallows in your mouth.
Athleticism, baby, athleticism. You gotta be an athlete.
Child, you're gonna
He's
be
the
single for
culture
a minute.
athlete.
You're gonna be so single. Okay, so we also see that TT and Malik are in this episode. TT has some serious trouble with the salmonella outbreak, and we find out that the people died. Why did they die? Kenny, why did you let them die? The salmonella poisoned people.
We wanted to have some fun with TT. TT has grown a lot from the first season.
Yeah, he
from
has.
just being the kid sleeping on the couch in the guest room at Tasha's place, Tasha Malik's, and then to, going to college and starting his business. And this year we really wanted to poke a hole in that and see what happens to him. Put his business in jeopardy.
Don't you think that kind of makes him go back to being that guy on the couch?
Well,
Since-
he is sleeping on the couch
Right,
now. He's
well-
sleeping on Malik's couch.
Yeah, well, that, and you see, like you said, you want to do some stuff with him. You've seen that he's grown, but now he kind of looks like a failure all over again. You just asked him to buy him out.
Well, in anything you have setbacks, and we want to see how he reacts after this setback. And also, sometimes we have to reset the show a little when people are going in so many different directions. We have to bring it back to our people, and bringing Malik and TT back together is part of that.
Right.
So I'm just thinking realistically, shouldn't TT be in jail? Or something.
People don't just go to jail for
yeah.
that. There are
Oh,
lawsuits.
really?
There are lawsuits that happen, and there's trials, and,
Right.
and it's,
All I heard was dead people, and I'm like, wait, we got dead people on the show, and ain't nobody in jail. So what's going on?
He probably had an LLC, which means that him personally, he's protected from,
Okay.
Yeah, they're suing the
malicious intent. They're
business, so
suing the
there's not
business.
like criminal
and
intent.
I'll give a spoiler that there will be a trial.
Oh, okay.
There will be a
TT's
trial.
gonna have
See,
trials.
I'm thinking in the
on,
right direction, man.
You're on fire today.
Right.
I'm on fire today. It's because she's sitting next to me.
That must be what it is. But I like the fact that TT is, I like that he's unraveling. I like the fact that, because we kind of see him as the go-to guy, even though he's a little off from Malik. Think about it. He always has like the voice of reason for Malik,
Yes.
even though he's a little crazy. But now it's like, okay, what happens now when Malik has to be the voice of reason and tell him, get up, we got to clean this place, we got to fix, you're keeping us from having business. So it's a good view to see him in a different light, I think.
And it's funny that, that he said that because it makes more sense now. And I thought that TT was going to get Hollywood on Malik at first, especially when he first got served. When the fine Spanish girl showed up, I was like, TT got a bad one, man. Wow. But, he gets served, so it brings him right back down. So I don't know. I originally thought you guys were trying to write him off.
No,
trying to write him off, but I don't know where you guys going to go with that.
Right.
No, we are not writing Barry off. We love Barry.
Right.
Very.
Was he really your PA? He was on the set and you guys hired him on?
Yeah, actually, Barry was my PA over at Cuts.
Really?
Yes, and then when Cuts went away and the game started, he got a PA job on Girlfriends. When we were, it was our sister show, so we shot next to each other. So he was over there, and he would do some stand-in work. And Salim, one of our exec producers, he saw him because he was directing Girlfriends and liked, his banter and all that. Said, when we came on TT Carey, he was like, you should let him audition for that. And so he went in, auditioned, and killed it.
That's
So what I'm getting from this interview is that it's all about who you know.
All about it.
It's all about who you know.
it's all about being in your element.
Yeah, that's true.
Barry was a hard worker. He was a page at Paramount when we saw him and hired him for Cuts. Barry was always about his job. Even when, they would ask him to do extra stuff on Girlfriends, he would do it. So when this opportunity came up, he was just, friendly, always positive. People liked him. So they were like, oh, you should help us do stand-in work here. And then boom. It's usually when people are doing what they're supposed to do,
Yeah.
they get these opportunities.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Man.
Moral of the story, kid.
Fortune cookie.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Right. Okay, so then the other biggest part of this show was Tasha finding out she's having a girl. Now, why did y'all choose for Tasha to have a girl?
You know what? Derwin had a boy. And I remember someone in the room mentioned a girl. And then I was like, that might be nice. Because initially it was like, oh, she have another boy. So, we'll get another person for her to manage. And I was like, probably never reach that age on this show.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it was like, let's go with a girl. Let's do something different. And once we started saying it, it's just like it started feeling better and better. You know, here's this woman. She's had her son, and who say women can't be athletes? She can still be a manager to this girl.
Yeah.
So.
But is the world ready for another Tasha Mack?
Yes, and you know what the other thing was? There's usually more friction between mothers and daughters.
Yes,
Right.
yeah.
And that was another part of that we thought would be interesting for Tasha.
I know this is kind of a prediction, but I hope that Tasha's daughter is nothing like her, because we already had that character in Britney. We had that like sassy
Right.
young girl. I feel like Tasha's daughter is going to be complete opposite of her, and that's where the
Yeah.
friction is going to come.
Right.
Tasha's going to be like, well, I can't, this girl is nothing like me, who is this, blah blah blah, and then
So
like
everybody's okay if we do a time jump with Tasha's baby. Like
we
did
might
with-
as well. We did it with the pregnancy.
Right.
No, but
Brit Brat. everyone was really upset.
just think of who this baby's older brother is gonna be. She's not gonna turn out to be spoiled in Hollywood like that. Malik is gonna. You can already see him going through some sort of transformation
Right.
already. So I think that he's gonna be that father figure in their lives if one of the fathers don't step up.
Yeah, but you know they're going to step up, especially Pookie. Like, Pookie is not going to allow there to be a child in this world that is his and not be
Is
responsible.
Pookie the father?
Yes.
I hope so. I
See,
like
all the
Pookie.
girls think that Pookie's the father, and the guys
It's
think
Rick
that Rick
Fox.
Fox.
No, I don't
okay.
think I want Pookie to be the father, but I feel like it's not going to be Pookie or Rick Fox.
Who's this gonna be?
Dante?
It's going to be
Dante?
Terrence J.
Dante.
Yes.
I'm back.
Terrence J gonna come back like, what up? Like, that's my kid.
So then the people will say she's even more ratchet.
Yes,
Right.
Okay.
because that I feel like that dynamic is kind of interesting because that Dante is so much younger than Tasha. So I mean, at least that's what it looks like. I don't know. If that's,
We played her
Yeah.
as an older woman.
It's just something fun, you know.
I know. Ashley's trying to get all types of writers credit.
I know. I'm like, so y'all remember that? Yeah, that was my idea.
Yes. Okay. So I like the fact that the baby is a girl. I do think that it's going to change people, and we see that with Malik. How Malik says, which I think it's funny how he blames his behavior on rap and having no father.
You know what? That's real though.
Thank you.
That
Thank
is so
you. It is
real.
real.
And I was so happy that he said that because I'm like, yeah, people, when I say it, oh Lord, here go the sassy Ashley again. No, it's real.
So you really think that rap? I mean, I can see the no father part, but rap.
Yes.
Yes.
That's the interesting part for us. That was more just a joke for us. It wasn't as serious as rap is the blame for everything. We love rap.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
Me too.
love rap on the
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
Like, it was just more of a joke to say, you know, because people will say rap is what's
And
good.
not
So
all-
we're just having fun with
Yeah.
it.
Right.
And not all rap music. I mean, there is some rap music that is amazing, but then there are some lyrics out there that's like, really? Did you just say that?
Well, I mean, it's all music. Music just affects people's moods. When I listen to some Drake, I feel like I'm the man. You know, I'm ready to go to the club.
I'm with
tear
Brandon.
up, you
I'm
know?
with Brandon. I can listen to that stuff and not have it overcome me.
But
And
some
not
people
disrespect
can.
women.
But some people
can.
watch things on TV and can't.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't police everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you just gotta go to the club and listen to some Drake and enjoy yourself.
Uh-oh. You married, player. Don't say Drake for us young single cats, because we will go. I don't want you to come on here and get in
Brandon,
trouble.
yeah,
man.
no, Brandon had to keep it on the straight and narrow. Okay, so we see that, of course, Tasha and Chardonnay are now back to being besties, and Tasha has a newfound love and appreciation in her glow. She's glowing now.
She is
Her
glowing.
makeup has changed.
She is good.
Yes.
She looks good.
I like that it came back together. The thing about being serialized is that, yes, our show is short, but we are able to not wrap things up so quickly.
Yeah.
And give them a little time to bring people back together after they have fights and not rush it. So I thought it worked out really nice.
Something is going to happen which brings Tasha Mack back to being Tasha Mack.
Okay, well, let's
That's
get
what I
on to
think.
our predictions.
Oh.
And now.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right, Katie, we'll let you take this segment over. What's going to happen for predictions?
I think Dante may come back or Coach T and say, I am the father of the baby.
Oh,
That would mean that Tasha was pregnant for like 5 years.
No, because you never know. She ratchet. Remember, Tasha Mack is a trash box. So you never know what she could be doing. You never know. I mean, she doesn't know who her baby's father is. So that right there, it's like we might as well bring somebody else into the mix because you don't know.
She explained that she wasn't ratchet. She just had 2 men want her, and that was a lot for her.
Yeah, and you backed her up last year saying, oh, she feels loved and all that. So what she was doing wasn't wrong. So let's not go calling her ratchet.
Sometimes
She made a mistake.
She made a mistake. Yeah, I get it.
She made a lot of mistakes.
I've been saying, and I'm still, I know you're there and you heard me say it when we were watching it, there's going to be a miscarriage. That baby is not going to be born. Something's going to happen. Or the guys aren't going to step up. She's going to have an abortion. She's going to get cold feet, and she's not going to want to bring
That's
that baby.
way too heavy right now.
No, there's
Is she going to Europe?
She's 5 months pregnant. You can't have. That's illegal in the U.S.
Well, I learned something new every day. I haven't had that problem.
And there's already been an abortion on the show, and I feel like with Melanie back, a few seasons ago.
Oh yes, that was.
See, that's kind of deep. It's already heavy.
It's too heavy for this season right now,
and it's so final. So I feel like she's gonna have this baby, and there's just gonna be a lot of nuances with her being a new mom and a mom of a little girl.
There might be like a car crash when the baby's like 2 or something, but
for what?
He wants the baby to die.
I didn't say I want the baby to die. I'm pro-life. Wait a minute.
All of a sudden.
I might run for governor of Virginia one day. You're not messing me up.
All right. What do you think about TT and Malik? What's going to happen with them?
Oh, you want to take this one?
Okay, so I think that the TT and Malik situation, they're going to just become closer, and Malik's going to say, you know what, TT, I got your back. I don't want to buy you out. We're going to work this out together. I think that we're going to really see their relationship just flower and blossom, and because they've been brothers for so long, like I think they're good.
I think they're gonna have a temporary falling out.
I don't.
Of course.
We continue to find more and more about what's going on with this salmonella scandal. We just found out that he's going to trial. TT probably used Malik's name for something, now something's coming back. Now something's gonna come back on Malik,
and it's gonna put his business in jeopardy because Fatty's is a restaurant too.
And while Malik is, he's growing as a person. He's got this girl now, the gymnast that you all hate on all the time. He's got the girl now.
He looks at me. I can't.
He has the baby sister coming now. Malik is maturing. He's blossoming. You can see them. They're setting him up for something, and it's coming through TT. Ooh,
and I think Blue and Keira are gonna have a falling out. I don't understand why you need to move in together and you live downstairs. Like,
that's
keep
so
your
sweet.
place. That's too. Anyway, so where can they find you guys?
You can find me at The Cultured Athlete, at Cultured Athlete on Instagram and Twitter, and my website, Brendan London TV. I see you smiling through the camera, Ashley.
I mean, I'm trying to stay positive. And you can find me on Twitter at Hey Ashley Gray, and on Instagram at Nina Marie Gray.
And if you'd like to find Mr. Kenny Smith, don't be looking for him on Twitter. Don't be asking him all these questions. Just at the game BET, and you can ask your questions there, right?
Yes.
Yes. Ask the game, not him. And you can find me, Megan Thomas, on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Meg Scoop, like scoop of ice cream. We'll see you guys next.
Can I give a quick shout out?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, quick shout out to the great actors on the show, and also Tamara, Salim, Erica, Kenya, Hale, and Jenny Marcos, the writers of season 7 of the game. It's going to be a great one.
Yes! Thank you, Kenny, and thank you, family on the set.
And can I give a shout out?
Here we go.
To any BET The Game casting director who gives me that shot. Shout out.
Suzanne, he's talking to you.
We can end it on that.
Right. See you guys next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Bye. See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.